before we open Godot, here's the plan. Over this series, we're going to be building a full Souls-like action RPG from scratch, with movement, combat, enemy AI, inventories, everything you can think of. But we're not going to be cramming everything into one giant script. Each system is going to be built on a standalone, and then merged near the end, or as we go along, depending on the system that we build. That's generally how real games are made. Part 1 is going to be the foundation of our entire game, the player. We'll also build the state machine with the player, so let's get into it. All right, so once you've downloaded the latest Godot 4 version 4 executable, whether it's Godot 4.6 or Godot 4.7, anything that is after Godot 4, we will now launch it. Also keep in mind here that I also have the K-Kit packs that we're going to need for this next part, which is going to be for the player. Next, we will go and create our project. Make sure that you set the path to wherever you want your project to be, and we will rename the project to something like a 3D Souls-like game. And I'm going to add a YouTube tutorial right after. Now, of course, you might not want to add that because this is my YouTube tutorial. And next, we will look at the renderer. There are 3 renderers here. And the one that we're going to want is a Forward Plus. This is used for advanced 3D graphics or just 3D in general. We'll make sure that Edit Now is checked off, and you can pick Git or None, but Git is going to help us push this to Git in the future. So I usually leave this selected. We'll hit Create. Once you've created your project, if we go back to our desktop, you will see, or wherever you saved it, you will see your folder has now been created. Now in here, I'm going to simply drag the folders and pop them into the new folder that we just created. If we open up Godot, you'll see that the assets are going to be imported. After a few seconds, we'll now see the new folders that we just created. Now to keep things organized, I'm going to create a new folder called Assets. I'm going to drag both these folders into the Assets folder and click OK. Once that's done, we can now create 2 new folders, one for scenes and one for scripts. This is just to help us stay organized in the future and make sure that we have somewhere to put everything. All right, our next step is to actually go to project settings and start setting up our input mapping. Here we'll find input map and we'll be able to add anything that we want. First, we'll create move left, move right, move forward, and I'm going to go ahead and add all the inputs that we need to add, and I'm going to speed things up a little bit. Next, what we want to do is configure these with an actual input, because right now the actions do exist and we can refer to them in code, but they won't be able to actually trigger or get triggered because we don't have anything to trigger it. So to do that, we'll add the add event from the plus button on the right-hand side, and you can see here that it's listening for event, which means if I click on my keyboard, so in this case, move left should be A, I can click OK. We can also go back and click the left on my keyboard, and that will do the same thing. Now, you could also, another option, which is actually important for the mouse toggle, is to go in here and find what we want. So here, we're going to go to either mouse buttons. Sorry, that's the wrong one, actually. We're going to go to attack. Attack is the one that we want, where it's mouse button, left mouse, and we click OK. All right. So the left mouse button, if it gets clicked, we will attack. The toggle is actually escape. And I'm going to go ahead and fill everything out. And you can kind of do whatever you want though. All right, I filled everything out. This is just kind of what I like to have for my input mapping. It's what feels the most natural to me when I play these kind of games. So hopefully you've also filled it out with whatever you'd like, whether it's the left physical key or A key, whatever it is. For attack, same thing. You honestly don't even have to use the left mouse button, but this is what makes me most comfortable. All right, next, what we want to do is actually set up our first scene. Here we have, on the left-hand side, create root node. We can create a 3D scene. We'll create a world, hit save, and save this into our scenes. Now, you'll notice that we don't have anything. Now, what we're going to do first is create a floor. So to do that, we're going to create or add a static body 3D with a mesh instance. And normally we would add a collision because if we notice or read this, it's telling us we need a collision 3D. But I'm going to show you guys a cool hack to make this a little easier for us. I'm going to add a box mesh. I'm going to go into the mesh and go to the size, and you can set the Y, the Z, and the X. Here, I'm going to set 15 by 15 probably. That's probably enough. We'll now go up to the mesh on the top, create collision shape. We'll do sibling, and then we can do single or simplified convex. They should make the same thing, which will just end up being basically the shape that we have. And this is now our ground, and you'll see our error went away. Now, an alternative method, if you guys wanted, if we had only the mesh instance, we could have also created a static body child. Same thing. And that would pretty much do the same thing. If I hide this static body, you'll notice that it's essentially the same. So I'm going to go ahead and delete the old one. But again, the ordering here doesn't actually matter. So I'm going to rename this to floor and just hide the rest. Next up is we want to create our player. Now we have two options to create our player. One would be either to add it through our world scene and add it like this, or we can create either a new scene, an instance scene over here, or we can also create a scene over here. Now, this is not usually my preferred way of doing it, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel, but do know this is a way, and you can go node and select whatever you'd like. So instead, I'm going to go ahead and create a new scene called character body 3D by adding the plus button again and clicking other node just in case you missed that. And I'm going to rename this to player. I'm going to hit Control S or Command S if you're on a different OS. I'm going to create a new folder called player and save my scene in there. Now, I'm going to do the same thing by adding a mesh instance, but this time we're going to add a capsule mesh, pop it up a little bit. And if you noticed, my guy kind of snapped up there a little bit, and that is usually because the snapping is on, but it's not, which is a little weird, but that's okay. We'll just create a collision mesh here with a sibling this time, because the character body is already the body that we want. We just need the collision shape. You'll notice that it's kind of inside, but it is the right shape that we need, or somewhat right shape actually, because we did simplified, but we're actually going to do single convex here. All right, now let's hit Control S, go to world, and you'll notice that our player isn't here. That's because we didn't add him yet. So if we find our player scene on the left-hand side, I can simply drag him down by dropping him wherever I want. Or if I drop him into the world scene on the top left, he'll simply enter at the origin point, which is 0, 0, 0. I can move him up a little bit, and let's hit play and see what we can get. If I select current while I'm in the world, that should work, but we can also just do select and select the world. Now, a quick note. Well, first of all, we see nothing, which is not unexpected, but it is a problem. One note though, if you did select the wrong scene when you hit play, if you right click something like a scene, you can actually now say set as main scene. Now, we're not going to do that for the player because that wouldn't really make a lot of sense. Now, to make this work, to actually see our player, we now need to add a camera 3D. I'm going to add my camera and just move it up a little bit, and now face it down on the right-hand side. You can see the preview. And now when I hit play, we'll see the player. Now, the scene doesn't look the same, and that's okay. We'll address that in just a minute. But before we do that, we want to add our player script. Let's go over here to the add the player script, but this time I'm going to add it in the scripts folder. And again, give it its own script folder player. And make sure that when we did this, actually, you select the template, which I did not do. So let's do that. Go to the script, and you'll notice that we now have a script. And this was our old script. So if I close that, it'll be overridden. Oh, doesn't look like it was. So let's actually close this and make sure we paste this into the actual player script that is in our player. There we go. So this is our player script for the template. Now this is going to allow us to move. Now, I can move left and right, up, down, wherever. You can see my player is moving. He can even jump up and down. Now you'll notice though that this doesn't work with our input mapping yet, and that is because it's using UI left instead of move left. And if you do that, that will replace all of these with the input mappings we just added, then it will work with whatever you did. But don't worry about that too much just yet, because we're going to be removing a lot of this soon. Now, before we move on, and before we actually